from darkness to light. I was young, maybe 20 years old. I felt lost. I had no job. I had no friends. My family lived far away. I didn't talk to them. I felt very alone. Every day was the same. I woke up, ate a little food, and sat in my room. I looked at the wall. I did nothing. I felt empty inside. My heart was heavy. My mind was dark. I started thinking, why am I here? Why do I live? No one cares. No one needs me. I thought I was a mistake. I thought my life had no meaning. These thoughts stayed with me every day. Then, one cold afternoon, I went outside. I walked with no place to go. My feet took me to a bridge. It was high. The river below was fast and cold. I looked at the water. It moved quickly. I stood on the bridge. I looked down. My hands were shaking. My legs felt weak. I said to myself, "This is it. I want to end it all. I want peace. I want to stop the pain." I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath. I felt the wind on my face. I thought no one would miss me. I thought no one would care. I was ready to jump. But then I heard a voice. It was quiet but strong. A man said, "Hey, young man." I opened my eyes slowly. An old man was standing near me. He looked calm. He looked kind. He didn't look afraid. He said again, "Please, don't do this." He took one small step closer. His eyes looked into mine. There was no anger, just care, just peace. I looked at the old man. I didn't speak. I didn't move. My heart was still heavy. My hands were cold. The wind touched my face, but I didn't feel alive. He stood there, quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I know that feeling. I was like you once." I looked at him again. He didn't look sad, but his eyes were deep, like he had a story. I said, "Why should I stop? Give me one reason." My voice was low, my body was tired. I just wanted to hear something true. The old man nodded. He sat down near the bridge. Not close, not far, just enough to talk. He looked at the river. Then he looked at me. He said, "Let me tell you a story." He took a deep breath. He said, "Many years ago, I was young too. I was full of pain. Life was hard. I felt small. I felt broken, just like you do now. I didn't say anything, but I listened. His voice was calm. His words were simple. He was not trying to fix me. He was just sharing. He said, "And one night I lost everything. My job, my house, my hope. I walked for hours. I cried. No one saw me. No one asked if I was okay." Then he looked at the sky. It was getting dark. The clouds moved slowly. The river kept flowing. His voice got quiet. He said, "That night, I went to a bridge too." The old man continued, "And I stood on the edge, just like you. I felt lost. I felt empty. I thought no one cared. I thought it was the end for me." He paused for a moment. His eyes were distant, like he was remembering something painful. I didn't say anything. I just listened. He took a slow breath and said, "But then something happened." A voice called out to me, a stranger, just like you called me today. The voice said, "Don't do it." I looked down at the ground and I felt something in my heart. It wasn't hope, not yet, but it was a small light, a small reason to live. The old man looked at me again. His eyes were soft but strong. He said, "I listened to that voice." I took one step back, and my life changed after that. I found my way again. I looked at him, still not sure what to say. My heart was heavy, but his words felt true. I asked, "But how did you change? How did you find a reason to live?" The old man smiled gently. It was small things, a kind word, a simple moment. But most of all, I learned this. Life is not about big moments. It's about small steps, and sometimes the smallest step is just not giving up. He stood up slowly, looked at me and said, "I know it's hard, but I promise you there is hope. You don't have to face this alone." The old man smiled, but his smile was different. It was warm and kind. I felt something in my chest. Maybe hope, maybe just a little bit of peace. He turned and started to walk away slowly. I stayed on the bridge, looking at him. I didn't move for a long time. His words echoed in my mind. "Small steps," I whispered to myself. I looked down at the river again. The water still flowed fast and cold. But something had changed. The darkness in my mind was not as strong. The weight in my heart was a little lighter. I thought about the old man's story, how he had been where I was, standing on the edge, how he had chosen to step back. Maybe, just maybe, I could do the same. I turned around and started walking away from the bridge. My legs were still tired, but my heart felt a little less heavy. I didn't know what would happen next. I didn't know if things would get better, but I knew one thing: I was still alive. I had another chance, and that was enough for now. As I walked away, I heard the old man's voice again, faintly in the distance. "You are not alone," he said. His words were simple, but they stayed with me, and for the first time in a long time, I believed them. I walked away from the bridge, my steps slower now. The cold air still bit at my skin, but I felt different. I was thinking. The old man's words were still in my mind. "You are not alone." I didn't know where I was going. I didn't have a plan. But for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel completely empty. I felt a small hope, something I hadn't felt in years. As I walked, I saw people on the street. Some smiled at me. Some were busy, lost in their own thoughts. I realized something. I was part of the world. I wasn't invisible. I didn't have to fix everything right away. I didn't have to be perfect, but I could take one small step, just like the old man did. Maybe that was enough. I didn't know what the future would bring, but I knew I could keep going. And that thought, small as it was, felt like the beginning of something new. Days passed and I kept walking. I didn't always feel good, but I tried to keep moving forward. I remembered what the old man said, and small steps. Sometimes I would think about the bridge. I would think about how close I was to giving up. But then I remembered the kindness of the old man. He didn't give up on me, even when I was ready to give up on myself. One day I met someone who smiled at me. It wasn't much, but it felt good. I smiled back. Maybe I wasn't completely alone. Maybe, just maybe, people cared more than I thought. I still had bad days, but now I had a reason to keep going. A small reason, but enough. The old man had shown me that there is always hope, even in the darkest times. And now I knew that the small steps were enough to keep moving forward.